Hello everybody, this is Toshi the Panda back again with another short discussion video. It's not going to be long, this will be short like my Hell of a Boss discussion video. I recently saw this video by a YouTube channel called Geeks Plus Gamers 2. Pretty nice channel, by the way. You should go check them out. They're pretty cool guys. Anyway, I saw them make this video about this woman named Grace Randolph, who apparently had this terrible take on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I didn't really get much context except for a little bit from the video itself, so I went and did some research, and apparently this woman is getting blasted on Twitter because she has some very terrible takes on this movie. Apparently she has a lot of terrible takes on a lot of movies like Super Mario, but I'm more of a Sonic fan than Mario, so I'm here to discuss her take on Sonic 3. More specifically, one take on the movie that really bothered me and just made me get really angry at this lady as not only a Sonic fan but also a fan of Shadow the Hedgehog. And that's her saying that the friendship between Shadow and Maria is creepy or problematic or inappropriate, whatever word you want to use. It's like she looks at the relationship between Shadow and Maria and thinks it's weird, creepy, or I dare even say she probably thinks it's pedophilic, because in her mind, Shadow is an adult and he should not be hanging around with this 12-year-old girl. It's weird. No. When I saw this, I facepalmed so hard I think I hurt my forehead. It's like I really just wanted to go up to this woman and say, do you not know anything about them? I'm gonna assume you never played Sonic Adventure 2, but you could do this research like instantly. Go to Google, find the Sonic Wiki, you know all about this. The relationship between Shadow and Maria is not romantic in any way, shape, or form. It's platonic. It borderlines on a familial relationship because they behave the same way a pair of siblings do. Like, as a fan of the series, I know all about the relationship between Shadow and Maria. I know from the games, Maria was sick with an incurable disease, so her grandfather Gerald Robotnik created Shadow in order to be the cure for her. Unfortunately, that never happened because Maria ends up getting killed, but that's the gist of it. The movie, on the other hand, had a different take on Shadow's backstory that I actually thought was interesting. Spoiler warning here. In the movie, Shadow crash lands on Earth in a meteorite and he's experimented on by GUN and Gerald Robotnik, same basic thing. Maria doesn't seem to be a girl with an incurable disease. She just seems to be an ordinary, regular child who is just brought there because I'm assuming she's like a very privileged kid and Gerald just brings her along to work, because, privileged kid status or whatever. But the same thing happens in the games as it does in the movie. She befriends Shadow, they have this nice, cute little relationship together, and I've seen the montage in the movie. It's really adorable. They're just running around, playing, dancing to music, watching movies. There's this really funny scene where they crash into a food cart and make snow angels on the floor out of the food mess. It's really adorable. But for whatever reason, Grace Randolph misinterpreted that relationship as being romantic in some way or shape or form. And also another thing is that she says Shadow is adult-coded. No. First of all, Shadow is referred to as a child twice in the movie, in the flashbacks with Maria. Once by Gerald Robotnik when the alarms go off and they have to run, he says, "Kids, we need to go," referring to Shadow and Maria. And then when they're running, a bunch of soldiers are going to shoot at Shadow, and that's when Commander Walters, who at the time in the flashback is Captain Walters, he tells them, "Stop, what are you doing? Those are children." Again, referring to Shadow and Maria. Twice they are called children. Shadow is called a child. He's not an adult. At all. I can only assume Grace Randolph thinks this because he's voiced by an adult man, Keanu Reeves, who by the way did an excellent job. Very good job. But no. Just because the character is played by an adult doesn't mean the character themselves is an adult. I can point to nearly a million, child characters in cartoons alone that are all played by adult voice actors. Because if Grace Randolph knew anything about voice acting, it's that 9 times out of 10, you can't have a kid voicing a kid. Because eventually, that kid will grow up and their voice will change. This is especially a rule in Japan where they can't have boys voicing little boy characters because the boy will grow up, go through puberty, and his voice will change. This is why typically boys over in Japan are voiced by women. And here in the United States, it's pretty much the same basic thing. only, we do get guys to voice guy characters, but we don't get little boys to voice little boy characters. I think in rare occasions they do actually get child actors to voice child characters, but it's very rare. Usually they get adults for that, because of the, whole thing with puberty and the voice changes, so you can't keep using the same voice actor. The only exceptions are when you have the character grow up as the actor does, like with Finn from Adventure Time. He's played by a kid, but as the kid got older, they didn't swap him out with a new voice actor. They just swapped him out. No, they just kept him. They kept him in, and he just grew up with the character. So that's a little exception they make sometimes. But in terms of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, despite the fact that Shadow is voiced by a grown man, he is referred to as a child in the movie. So he's not adult coded in the slightest. I really wish people would stop using these buzzwords, these Twitter buzzwords or TV tropes buzzwords that doesn't really apply in certain situations. And Grace Randolph would have known that Shadow was referred to as a child, because if she actually sat down and watched the movie, she would know that. So I can only assume when that scene popped up, either she has hearing problems and didn't hear what was going on, or she was deliberately omitting information in order to spread information. Because I can only assume that the only reason she'd have this terrible of a take on the movie is because she's just trying to get people to dislike it. And I assume that because apparently she's a big Disney buff, so a lot of people are saying she only had this terrible take on Sonic 3 because she's disappointed that Mufasa didn't do good in the box office. Because currently, at least in the United States, Sonic 3 is just dominating Mufasa. And all those ads saying that it's the #1 movie in the world, it's only the #1 movie in the world because Sonic the Hedgehog 3 hasn't hit international theaters, but I guarantee you the second that it does, Mufasa is just going to go right down the toilet while Sonic the Hedgehog 3 stands tall on the mountain. Like the great movie that it is. It is really great. I haven't done a review of the movie yet because I feel like I haven't really had the time for it, but I can give you my quick thoughts overall here. It's really good. I enjoy it. The characters, the acting, the story, it's really good. And I look forward to the next one that comes out, because after seeing the end credit scenes, I know there's gonna be another one. Definitely. I'm just waiting for the Sonic Cinematic Universe to come out. Like, I'm already enjoying playing Sonic X Shadow Generations. I had a great time watching the movie on Christmas, so I'm just glad for where the series goes next. But I really hated this take from Grace Randolph. It's like listening to someone who didn't experience the source material or didn't even bother to watch the movie before giving a review on it. This is like if I only watched the first 5 minutes of a movie and then gave my opinion on that. It's like saying, oh, Avatar is 3 hours long and I don't really feel like sitting through all 3 hours, so I'm just gonna watch the first 10 minutes and then give my overall thoughts on it. No. You watch the movie from beginning to end and then give a review of it. And Grace Randolph's review tells me she has not watched the movie from beginning to end. Because if she had seen it, she would know the relationship between Shadow and Maria is not romantic. It is purely platonic. It has always been platonic. I know in the fandom there are some people who ship them, but I'm not one of them. I don't ship Shadow and Maria. Personally, I ship Shadow and Sonic, or Shadow and Silver, but I don't ship Shadow and Maria. I see the relationship as what it is. It's a brother-sister relationship, or a really good friendship, but that's it. There's no romance between them, okay? I know some people are still hung up over what happened in Sonic 06, but that happened years ago. Get over it. I haven't seen any other Sonic characters getting with humans, and this movie definitely isn't gonna have that happen. It's just a cute little friendship between this girl and this alien hedgehog from another universe or wherever it is he came from. Like, there's nothing going on here. In fact, I think, personally, people who insert opinions like this into media that doesn't have them, they actually make it problematic. Like, to put it simply, it's not weird, it's only weird because Grace Randolph makes it weird. Like, I kind of feel like if you looked at this and thought it was perverted in any way, I think you're the perverted one. I'm not accusing you of anything, I'm just saying. It's only like inappropriate because you think it is. You're inserting something that doesn't belong in there. Like, you looked at this cute little relationship between this girl and this alien creature and you saw something weird or perverted or sexual going on there. No. You put that there. Not the filmmakers, not the writers, nothing. You're inserting that in there, which makes me think you are the one with the dirty mind, not the people behind this movie. So yeah, that was my my overall response and opinions to Grace Randolph's take on the Sonic movie, the third Sonic movie. And I'd like to thank the guys at Geeks and Gamers 2 for providing me this video and giving me the incentive to go look it up and see what was going on, so I can get out my opinion to all of you. They have a really good channel, and you should go subscribe to them. So that's all I had to say for now. Toshi the Panda signing out. Have a nice day, and don't forget to wash your hands.